Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this Chiku Terra with me, and in this video we'll be doing the camera review. And if you notice, we actually have a dual camera setup for the rear facing camera, and it's actually a 13 megapixel shooter. And here the Chiku Terra says that it's a dual scopic camera and it's a 13 megapixel sensor, and one is a color sensor regular and other one is a black and white, and you get some effects and for better color reproduction. I have taken a lot of sample shots. I'll show you that. And also we also have a dual tone LED flash. Moving to the front facing camera, it's a 8 megapixel shooter. And before I show you the sample shots and videos, and for videos with the rear facing camera, it can record up to 4K, whereas for the front facing camera it can record up to 1080p. I'll show you the sample shots later on, but before that let me show you the camera interface. And this is the camera interface that you see, and if you notice, it is very similar to iOS style. You just move around to move between the modes. We have the SLR mode, which is sort of interesting. I took some shots with that. We have the video, we have the photo, we have the beauty mode, and we also have the pro mode, which is sort of the manual mode. So you can control white balance, ISO, exposure and shutter time, and even the focusing manually if you want. I took most of the shots in the regular, normal photo mode and the SLR mode. And let me actually show you. And we also have the options of HDR over here, and if you go over here, we have the other settings. If you go over here, as you can see, you can store the pictures to internal storage or the SD card. And regarding the resolution, these are the options that are provided. That is 13 megapixel, and at 10 megapixel it will be in 16:9. And regarding photo quality, again, extremely fine or normal, and we can disable the shutter sound if you want. So again, normal options, and we also have the facial recognition option if you want that. And we also have the beauty face option if you use the front facing camera. If you use this front facing camera, by default it'll go to the beauty face, but you can disable that and go to the regular photo mode also. And you can also toggle this beauty level to 1, 2, 3 or 4. By default it's on 2. Let's just go back and let me actually show you the shutter speed. Actually it's fast, and you can just tap in and it takes the picture. But sometimes I have to double tap this and it goes green when it focuses. And as you can see, in good lighting it takes the pictures very quickly, and for the most part the pictures come out to be fine, as you can see. But let me now actually show you some of the sample shots that I've taken so that you can judge the camera performance. These were shot with the rear facing camera of the Chiku Terra at full resolution, that is 13 megapixel, and this was shot in the regular auto mode. And as you can see, the pictures come out to be actually really good in good lighting. Now these were shot using the SLR mode, which gives a sort of a bokeh effect, and as you can see, the effect is actually really nice. But you have to be careful while using this mode, because the phone should not shake while taking the pictures, but you can certainly get some beautiful effect using this SLR mode. Recording the sample footage with the Chiku Terra at 1080p. It also records a video up to 4K. I'll also have a sample with 4K, but this is at 1080p. And this is my roof garden, and the audio that you're hearing is also via the internal microphone. I'm just going to walk around to see how is the stabilization, because it does not have any optical image stabilization. And let me just pan around, and now let me just walk back. So you be a judge and let me know in the comment section, what do you feel about the video recording with this Chiku Terra at 1080p from the rear facing camera. Recording this footage with the front facing camera of this Chiku Terra, and this is in outdoor conditions, and I'm just moving around to give you an idea how it handles abrupt exposure. I'll also record a small sample video in indoor lighting. Now these were shot in semi-indoor conditions, and for the most part it did a okay job, but sometimes the colors were a little bit off. But certainly, considering the price point, I feel the picture quality is above average even in semi-indoor conditions. Now these were shot in completely artificial lighting in my office, and for the most part I would say the picture quality is again above average even in completely artificial lighting. But again, when we start to zoom in, there is quite a bit of noise in the pictures, and also the pictures are not that sharp in completely artificial lighting. With the front facing camera, again, the pictures come out to be actually really good in outdoor lighting. But again, when we move to indoor lighting, for the most part, the pictures are good, but they are a little bit soft in artificial lighting, and you have to be careful because it can be blurry at times. Now, recording this part of the video with the front facing camera, but this is in completely artificial lighting in my office, and I have just one tube light switched on. Let me actually switch on one more light, and this is with two lights. So this should give you an idea about the video recording in completely artificial lighting with this Chiku Terra. So what do I feel about the camera on this Chiku Terra? As we have seen from the sample shots, the rear facing camera actually performs very well. The pictures that we took in outdoor conditions came out to be actually very good. And even when we use the SLR mode, we got some beautiful bokeh effect. But you have to be sort of careful with that mode because sometimes the focusing can be an issue. That is what I've noticed when I was taking some macro shots. With macro shots, you have to be careful regarding the focusing. So in outdoor conditions, the pictures come out to be really good, but when we move to indoor and semi-indoor conditions, though it has its secondary camera which they say that produces accurate colors, the colors were sometimes a little bit off, and when we move to actually completely artificial lighting, for the most part the pictures were fine, but again, if we zoom them, then there is quite a bit of noise and the pictures are a little bit soft. So you have to be extra careful in indoor lighting because there can be quite a bit of noise. And now moving to the front facing camera. The front facing camera, as expected in outdoor condition, performed very well. But again, when we move to indoor lighting conditions, and especially in artificial lighting, it's sort of a hit or a miss, I would say. It's above average in my opinion. But again, in artificial lighting, you have to be careful because sometimes the pictures can come out to be blurry and a little bit soft. In terms of video, the video performance was good. But again, you have to be careful. You should not move around. That is the same thing with the front facing camera in terms of video. The outdoor video that I took came out to be actually very good, and it handled abrupt exposure also very well. But when we move to indoor conditions, the video certainly came out to be okay, but it was not that sharp. So overall, I would say this Chiku Terra camera performs actually above average. But again, if we start to compare it with the flagships, then you will be disappointed. But again, if we start to compare it with some of the phones in this price range, then certainly I would say it has a very good camera. For example, I don't have the OnePlus 2, but I had the OnePlus X, and I have to say the camera quality is better than the OnePlus X. But again, when we look at the Nexus 5X, which is now available for about 23,000, that does perform a lot better in artificial lighting compared to this Chiku Terra. I would have loved to see optical image stabilization instead of this extra camera. That would have helped it a lot in artificial lighting condition. But needless to say, the camera does perform actually very well considering the price point at which this Chiku Terra sells. Again, I'll also be posting the full in-depth review for this Chiku Terra very soon, so stay tuned to my channel. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.